and quiet of Western Germany. Welcome to the Rally Deutschland, round 10 of the World Rally Championship. The newest round of the series is based in the Roman town of Trier, with 23 stages making up the 3 days. Day 1 saw the early pace set by Peugeot's Marcus Grönholm, joined fastest on the opening stage, the championship leader then dropping back with hydraulic system problems and a time penalty for leaving service late. That left the reigning world champion to lead the team's attack, Richard Burns ending the day in 2nd place.
I'm driving for a pace of 3 days, not just sprinting on each stage, because they are quite tricky. You don't need me to tell you that.
Ford's Colin McRae didn't enjoy the dry conditions. He was a frustrating 4th at the end of the day.
I think rain's a good leveller normally, so yeah, for us it would be a chance to catch up a bit.
Subaru also had a disappointing first day. Tommy Mäkinen losing his handbrake, literally, on stage 1. Solberg also struggled. He'd start day 2 10th after a couple of overshoots, then power steering and transmission problems, and finally a time penalty for leaving service late. But Immortal got the prize for the earliest problem. The first corner of stage 1 was where this damage occurred, and the Austrian ended the day in 48th place. The leading German driver, Hyundai's Armin Schwarz, was lucky to escape a similar indiscretion and ended day 1 in 6th place. Mitsubishi's Alistair McRae wasn't so fortunate, turbo failure ending his rally on stage 6. Another team to suffer mixed fortunes was Citroën. Jesus Puras retired his Zara with electrical failure on stage 3, but at least the fire extinguisher still worked. Philipp Bugalski, the winner of last year's non-championship Rally Deutschland, was 3rd at the end of the day after setting a couple of second fastest stage times, but there was no denying the drive of the day. That came from Sebastian Lowe, who set the quickest time on 6 of the 7 stages which ran. That stunning performance means he leads the rally into day 2 by exactly 27 seconds. So, 2 Citroëns, 2 Peugeots, a Ford and a Hyundai make up the top 6 going into the second day, but nearly a minute and a half cover those 6. Petter Solberg's time penalty dropped him from 5th to 10th, with less than 10 seconds between the Norwegian and 7th place Bruno Thierry. Day 2 would be very different to day 1, not only in terms of the weather, but also the stages themselves.
It's a new rally, the championship. It's got some unknown quantities. In fact, at day 2, where we are today, in the bomb holder area, which is a military area, has got a more concrete surface rather than an asphalt surface. It's got a lot of mixed surface. It's a very old army base with some old surfaces on it. We've got reports this morning coming in now of some light rain starting to appear. It's very cloudy. If we have a lot of rain, we could have standing water. We're looking at different options this morning between our normal dry tyre through to an intermediate for a damp condition, through to that same option but cut to cope with the standing water and hopefully prevent the aquaplaning.
The day would consist of 8 stages, with the normally secret military roads of the Baumholder training area and that changeable weather providing some tricky new challenges for the crews. But even before the first of those stages, all the talk was of a rare mistake the previous evening by one of the sport's top co-drivers, who'd booked out of a control 1 minute late.
Colin, you picked up a 10-second penalty at the end of yesterday. What happened there?
Maybe you should ask the Welsh wizard.
I'm very upset about it. I mean, I'm very meticulous in these sort of things generally. But 10 seconds, I mean, when you look at the weather today, 10 seconds could be absolutely nothing, and I think Colin has every possibility to get that back without a drama.
It will be a very difficult day today. It's raining and it's a lot of dust on the road, so it will be muddy and very, very slippery, so we'll see.
Stage 9, Maival, the day's first, and the virtual spectator stage guide exposes some of Van Holder's secrets. You can see that the stage is a lot faster and more open than those on day 1. Something it can't show, however, are the thousands of concrete blocks which line the stage, there to prevent tank crews from leaving the road, but which would provide yet another hazard for the competitors. The top 15 were now running in reverse order, so Tommy Mackinnon and Kyle Lindstrom were the first crew to find the pools of standing water and patches of sandy soil. At least they kept their Subaru on the road, unlike teammates Aki Mortel and Klaus Vischer, who aquaplaned off the road and retired. Gardemeister in the Skoda, meanwhile, was lucky not to cut one of the boulders lining the stage. By now, Hyundai were down to one car after Freddie Loix retired with engine problems. His German colleague, however, was discovering just how tricky the rain had made the stage. Among those who enjoyed the conditions was Petter Solberg. He and co-driver Phil Mills were already back up into 7th place after setting the fastest time so far. But it seemed that the rain and the subsequent tricky tyre choice had given Marcus Grönholm a golden opportunity to fight back, and the Finn would take full advantage. Just watch the time difference compared to Solberg. Over 18 seconds quicker, a second per kilometre, but it was clear that Grönholm was attacking. What would his teammate do with his summer tyres?
70 flat right, 50 flat right in and flat right 70, flat left 80 right max 100, long crest brake 30 flat right in and flat right 50 fast right plus cut slipping 80 to fast right minus. And opens.
Burns, in fact, was over 13 seconds slower than his colleague. Such was Grönholm's pace.
Colin
McRae, on Pirelli tyres rather than the Michelins of the Peugeots and Citroëns, also attacked, still unhappy at Grist's mistake.
Into 6 right. Opens long. Into 6 left. Opens long over crest. 100. Okay.
But he too was a lot slower than Grönholm. Citroën had lost one of their 3 cars on day 1, but first and third places were more than enough consolation. Maybe Philippe Bugalski was a little complacent as a result.
Et à fond long ouvre, 40 mètres. Droite à fond long, carrefour, ferme 115, crête à refrain. Ah, très creux.
Zara drove on with little visible damage other than the broken rear bumper. But at the end of the stage, it was clear that all was far from well with the car's engine, and with rear transmission damage as well, the team's second retirement was now surely almost a formality.
It's the end of the rally. I have a problem with my engine, but why I don't know, but sure it's engine.
So low was now the team's only hope, but he wouldn't continue his day 1 form, becoming another victim of Schwarz's bend.
100 mètres, 100 mètres. 100 mètres gauche, 140, moins long frein pour 40 mètres.
The Frenchman was unhappy at his tyre choice and slipped and slithered his way to only the 6th fastest time. In just one stage, Grönholm's Peugeot had taken a huge amount of time back from the Citroën.
Gauche 130 moins sur droite à fond. Gauche 130 moins sur droite à fond et gauche à fond. Allez, droite à fond et gauche à fond. Ok.
Un enfer. 20 seconds lost in the rain then, but Loeb's lead was still intact, even if it had been cut by a quarter. Bugalski retired after completing the stage, so he would soon disappear from the leaderboard, and so Solberg, Schwarz and the others would all move up a place as a result. To get a visual idea of just how crushing Grönholm's performance was, we've called in the virtual spectator to compare his drive with Burns and Loeb on the stage. Almost immediately, Grönholm's car starts to pull away, and despite the fact that Burns and Loeb are fairly evenly matched throughout this section of the stage, just watch Grönholm go. By the time the Peugeot turns from the military road back onto the public highway, Marcus is heading off into the distance, clearly a man on a mission. Stage 10, the wonderfully named Panzerplatte. One of the surprises of the stage came from Tony Lancaster, who thought the big Skoda Octavias were much more at half the wider stages in Baumholder than on day one's much narrower roads. He was 6th quickest. Armin Schwarz and Manfred Hiemer, though, were about to retire from the rally in the most dramatic way possible. From the onboard camera, the accident doesn't look that bad, but the damage to the accent tells a different story. Hiemer suffered bruising, but Schwarz was taken to hospital with a suspected broken rib. So both of the Hyundais were now out, and all three of the Peugeots were still in the event. Harry Rovanperä and Vojto Cylinder, though, were nowhere near the pace of Burns and Grönholm, and were still outside the top 10. Subaru had also lost 2 of their 4 cars, with Solberg lucky not to join Toshi Arai and Arthur Mortal after one brief lapse in concentration.
Slippy. Opens. One left. 100.
The previous stage had shown Grönholm's tyre choice to be ideal for the conditions. The 2000 world champion again charged through the Panzerplatte and again set the fastest time. So happy was Burns in the number 1 Peugeot, who came across the rescue services dealing with Schwarz's accident.
Right cut. Opens. 30. Right max. 150 braking. Each of left minus lock and opens.
At the stage finish, Robert Reid was quick to tell the team how unhappy they were that the stage had been stopped.
Flat right 30, flat right minus over crest in 60, flat left line 70, left max 80, right max. Yeah, I don't think much about their yellow flag system. It's not very nice to come across ambulances in the middle of the road.
McRae and Nicky Griff were another 10 seconds or so slower than Burns and Reid. One section of soaking wet road completely catching out the Ford pair. McRae, though, still calmly makes an addition to the pace notes for the repeat run through the stage.
Okay, and 6 right.
But what about Loeb? Still unhappy with his tyres, he would surely lose yet more time to Grönholm. But the question was, exactly how much time?
Gaucher droitier. Et attention, ciel pour droite 130 bords. Attention, ciel pour droite 130 bords. Et gauche à fond, ouvre l'eau. Gauche à fond, ouvre l'eau. Ok. Oh là 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 là. Citroën pour Daniel, spécial terminé.
At service, the rally leader was more than happy to get the chance to change his tyres.
In the first stage it was very difficult to drive. We have a lot of water on the road, and we didn't cut the tyres, so we had a lot of aquaplaning, and it was very difficult to stay on the road.
Marcus, that double stage win this morning's put you right back in contention.
Yeah, it's good, but still it's a quite a long way to catch Richard and Loeb, but it was good for us.
Tyre choice is more crucial than ever on this day. Have you made the right choice so far this morning?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, the tyre was good. We took quite a heavy cut in a sort of wet tyre because it is quite dirty. The best thing to do is to have the sort of the conservative choice.
Was that very difficult at the breaking points of standing water just to get that rhythm and get that speed?
It's not even try to touch the brakes because then they go off. So you have to just drive very slowly.
Stage 11, the second run through Myvalt, and the rain had stopped. The change in conditions and a change in setup saw a transformed Tommi Mäkinen storm through the stage, setting the third fastest time. Marco Martin too was quicker second time around. 23 seconds faster than he'd been on stage 9, the Estonian was now 7th overall, ahead of Tony Gardemeister. But the stage saw more than its fair share of victims. Harry Rovanperä suffered the same kind of hydraulic problems as Gronholm the previous day. The Finn forced to resort to changing gear with the manual gear shift and losing almost a minute as a result. It was, though, Petter Solberg who suffered the most, tackling a 6th gear corner a little too quickly and finding a concrete block in the grass.
6 left minus, tightens up a small bump. 80. 6 right plus 1.
Yet another blow for Petter and yet another retirement for Subaru. Only Mäkinen's Impreza now remained in the rally. Others too were caught out on the stage, but were more fortunate.
Into 6 right. Well done. And 6 left opens over crest into right tightens. The 3 plus opens.
Even Gronholm found himself offline through that corner, but survived to set the fastest time for the 3rd stage in a row. The gap from first place to 3rd was now less than 50 seconds.
Oikealle 4 ja oikein nopea risteys ahdas. 400. Oikein pitkä nopea risteys kirraa paskaa.
Burns was second quickest, again taking a few precious seconds off low, but again losing a few to his teammate.
Right left long to long crest 200.
The rally leader himself was a little happier in the afternoon, but still found himself unable to match the pace of the charging Gronholm. Stage 12, the 8.3-kilometre Haalkreuz test, and Mäkinen's transformation from zero to hero was continuing. Second quickest this time, the sole surviving Subaru was now 10. For the Skoda pairing of Kenneth Eriksson and Tina Turner, though, it was their turn to struggle. They battled with a transmission problem earlier in the day, but it was now their alternator which had failed, forcing Eriksson to try an emergency repair at the roadside after the stage. No such problems for Carlos Sainz, who was the fastest of the 3 Ford drivers on the stage. 4th quickest, 6 seconds up on Colin McRae. Scott's co-driver Nicky Grist missed a pace note. Gronholm again stormed through the stage, aware that both the men ahead of him were now definite targets. On this occasion, however, the Finn had to settle for the 3rd fastest time, behind both Mäkinen and Burns.
Turn 90 right. Slippy.
This was Burns' first stage win of the day, but it was a clean sweep of 4 out of 4 for Peugeot. Gone, it seemed, was the Loeb and Citroën domination of day 1. Sebastian, though, was lucky to still be in the rally.
Et double attention, droite 140 plus, ouvre en
Unlike Solberg, there were no concrete blocks for Loeb to hit. although Grönholm was unaware of the Frenchman's problem as he swapped his tyres around at the stage finish.
Marcus, your charge is continuing. I don't know what the times are here. I only have Sebastian's 5:11. What is going on? What's going on? I don't understand.
What had happened was Loeb losing around 16 seconds to Grönholm thanks to that spin. The Citroën driver's lead was now down to just 6.2 seconds, while another driver on a charge was Francois Delacour, only 7/10 of a second away from snatching 7th place from Marco Martin. Last in this batch of 3 stages was the 20.8-kilometre sprint through Erzweiler. This was the stage which saw the return of Tommy Mäkinen's bad luck. Only an overshoot this time, but any thoughts of improving on 10th place would have to wait.
Vielä taaksepäin, tuota ylempi tie, se on vain tää.
A brilliant second fastest, Francois Delacour did move up a place. Clearly the Mitsubishi engineers were learning a lot about the new Lancer on tarmac. Delacour's next target was still a long way off though. Bruno Thierry's privately run Peugeot was 32 seconds ahead of the Mitsubishi. All that of course mattered little to Marcus Grönholm, who was thinking about victory, not 6th place. Stage 13 though would be unlucky for the Finn.
Oikein hidas.
Stalling the 206 with Grönholm was only 6th fastest, although he still beat Richard Burns, nearly 3.5 seconds slower than his colleague. So the Peugeot run of stage victories was finally at an end. Instead it was left to Sebastian Loeb and co-driver Daniel Eliner to take their first stage win of the day, opening out their lead over Burns and Reed once again to nearly 19 seconds.
150 mètres, droite 90 moins corde très profonde, 150 mètres, droite 90 moins corde très profonde, et droite 130 pont Milan.
We hit a little rock, we opened the direction, and after that we made a spin at high speed, and we had a big chance to stay on the road, but now it's okay. We lost a little bit time, but now everything is okay.
What are you going with tyre-wise on these last couple of stages today?
I think we take slicks now to see, and it can be quite slippy, but still it should be better.
It's very good for the Mitsubishi, for me, for the team, you know, because we are expecting that and we are waiting for that as well, and the progress is there, and we have still, I think, some work to do.
Stages 14 and 15 would round off the action in Baumholder, with only a super special stage left to complete day 2. Panzerplatte, rerunner stage 14, would claim another victim when Tony Gardemeister crashed his Skoda out of the rally. The afternoon sunshine and the drying roads meant the Fords and their Pirelli tyres were struggling once again. Carlos Sainz was 6th fastest on both stages 14 and 15, with Colin McRae 5th and 9th quickest. Both Focus drivers, though, looked relatively secure in their positions tonight, with McRae going into day 3 in 4th place, over 30 seconds ahead of his teammate. Stage 14, however, saw Grönholm bounce back from that spin on the previous test. Fastest again, his 4th stage win from the day's 6 so far, and then second quickest on stage 15. He and Timo Rautiainen will start day 3 only some 25 seconds down on the leader. Richard Burns was just as consistent, 2nd fastest and then 3rd, but knows he has a fight not only with Loeb, but with his colleague on the final day. Himself, 3rd quickest on 14 and then the fastest time by just 0.2 of a second on 15, confirmed that he has no intention of letting either of the 2 Peugeot drivers deny him victory in Germany. Tomorrow should be very interesting. With Grönholm winning the Super Special, this is how the leaderboard looks going into the final day. Loeb, Burns and Grönholm are set to continue their thrilling battle, while McRae, Sainz and Thierry round off the top 6. Another scrap worth watching tomorrow will be the one between Marco Martin and Francois Delacour. They're just 1.4 seconds apart tonight.
Are you waiting for those drivers ahead of you to make mistakes? That's a bit more of a realistic prospect of getting on the podium.
Yeah, exactly. There's no way we're going to do it in straightforward speed, so we've got to wait and then making a mistake or having a problem.
To be honest, it's only really his spin which has meant that we've caught up quite a lot. But the point is that we're pushing him hard enough that he's making those kind of errors.
I think if he push at the maximum, he can make a mistake too. So
Sebastian Loeb hang on to take a richly deserved victory, or will Marcus Gronholm and the Peugeot team take another step towards both world titles? Join us tomorrow to see what surprises the final 7 stages have in store for the crews. But from Germany, good night.